You may have seen videos of Chinese parks in the past. They usually go viral for looking something like this, or this, or maybe this. But I am here to tell you that Chinese parks are more than just old Chinese men doing gymnastics routines that would make Simone Biles cower in fear. They are actually public places that are very special to their local communities. They are beautiful, safe, clean, and they offer a wide variety of activities to people of all kinds. In short, they are great places. If Chinese parks are great places, what exactly makes a great place? Well, there are many possible answers to this question. You may even have some ideas clanging around your head as I speak. But to avoid wasting too much of your time, I'm just going to straight up tell you exactly how I will be defining a great place. We are going to be using the Project for Public Space's handy little chart here to determine what makes a great place, and to determine whether or not Chinese parks actually do in fact qualify as great places. I'm not going to go out looking too far and wide for the best parks, but I'll simply go around to 3 different parks in my local neighborhood, all within a short walk from my home. There are 4 main components to making a great place. The place should be accessible, comfortable, sociable, and have multiple uses. The main park that we are going to be looking at today is Sihai Gongyuan, one of my favorite neighborhood parks, and the one that I think best represents a really great place. Let's begin with accessibility. Though, to be fair, all 4 of the components of a great place intersect and overlap with each other. How do you make a space that can be genuinely accessed and enjoyed by all, no matter their age, gender, social class, what have you? A place that can level the playing field and bring dissimilar people together. A place that makes a community safer and stronger. It begins with a place that actually is part of the community. This park is centrally located amongst schools, shops, apartments, and office buildings, meaning that it can be walked to by anyone living or working or getting an education in the area. It is also easily accessible via public transport. Within this park, you will find plenty of free and clean public restrooms, as well as multiple paths that can be utilized and appreciated by people with varying degrees of ability. Because this park, like most Chinese parks, are easily accessible, they are very well utilized and are often filled with people all throughout the day. The next component of a great place is multiple uses. Here you will see some of the hallmarks of many Chinese parks, including central water features with the classic lotus pond, or crouching tiger, hidden dragon bamboo groves to stroll through, to pavilions and pagodas to lounge underneath, to playgrounds for kids and gym equipment for olds, to public art, to chess sets, to dog parks, and more. A great place will also be comfortable. It is very rare for parks or other public spaces in China to implement hostile architecture. If you are unaware, hostile architecture are design features intended to make a space less comfortable. Things like angled benches or tiny armrests, those are hostile architecture. Hostile architecture is not intended to solve any of society's problems, or to actually make life better for anyone, but instead it is used to actively make a place worse, and therefore to make you, or if we are totally being honest here, the homeless population, less likely to linger in any one space. Thankfully, the benches and pavilions in Chinese parks are made to be used and made to be enjoyed. Because of this, people do actually use them. They stay and they play games or they chit chat and they enjoy being sociable with people within their community. They make new friends or they catch up with old ones. Another important part of the park being comfortable is that it is safe and it is clean. These parks always have security guards, of course. This is China after all, and Bao'an are everywhere. But you've also got full-time park maintenance that work every day to ensure the grounds are well manicured and the restrooms are clean. I guess that actually knocks out the sociability component of a great public space as well, but let's just quickly go over it. Chinese parks are well utilized as places to meet up, often for group exercises like Guangchangwu or public square dancing, or as you saw before, grandpas and uncles doing gymnastics. But you're also likely to see young people taking wedding photos, retirees playing cards and mahjong. You're also likely to see full-on bands with saxophones and guitars and drums and you name it, people drag their instrument out there and they play it. Or even group athletic classes like running groups or yoga. People really make use of their parks as community gathering places because of their being very accessible, comfortable spaces that can accommodate multiple uses. Before I go into a diatribe at the end of this video, I want to highlight one cool improvement that the local government has been doing to all of the parks in the area, and that is this new high-tech solar-powered gym equipment that is free to use, and it can track all of your workouts and your progress through WeChat. Shenzhen, of course, is a high-tech city, and even these parks are now becoming, I guess, what you can call next-generation parks. They've begun introducing technology to the parks that will further increase their comfort, accessibility, sociability, and use cases. Another park in the area that's on screen now has even completely removed car accessibility and replaced the parking lot that used to be here with the same new high-tech gym equipment, as well as new shade trees and a playground. So now that I think I've argued, hopefully successfully, that these parks are great places, you might be thinking, well, duh, parks everywhere are like this, right? And I don't disagree that in many places around the world, parks are really great. But I do want to push back a little bit, simply based on my own experience in my own backyard. Now, I don't really have much interest necessarily in content that is like America is so bad and China is so good, but I do just want to share this briefly for illustrative purposes. Without doxing myself too much, if I compare the main park in my hometown in California, the supposed richest state in the supposed richest country, you'll see some stark differences. The tennis courts that I used growing up, they can no longer be used after dusk because the button-operated lights have been disconnected. The public bathrooms are completely filthy, and they are constantly locked to prevent homeless people from spending time in the park. In order to get a new playground, private citizens had to actually organize a fundraiser on PayPal, which took years in the making to get the new playground paid for and installed. Local government didn't do it, the mayor didn't do it, the city council didn't do it, public funds were not used, private funds were used to improve the public park. Our priorities, at least in my hometown, are completely busted. Instead of spending money to make the park more accessible, they turn off the lights and they close up the bathrooms. Instead of utilizing public funds to add more use, the public needs to organize it and pay for it by themselves. Instead of making the space more comfortable by adding coverings or benches, they removed the shade so people wouldn't linger. And like most things in many parts of the USA, the main way that you get there is by driving your car, making it far less likely that you or your neighbors will go there and enjoy it every day, and less likely that you're going to meet new people, and even less likely for you or anyone else to be sociable, whether in the park itself or on the way there. I want to just reiterate and be clear here as I wrap this up that there are many great parks in America. I love taking a walk in Central Park in New York City, just as an example. I want America to be a better place. I want America to serve the needs of the communities and to be filled with great places that are enjoyed by everyone. I wish very much for America to catch up. I also want to be clear that I have nothing against homeless people. I believe that if we aren't going to provide housing for everyone, the absolute bare minimum that we could do is to not lock the few public restrooms that exist and then force the homeless people to poop in the grass like wild animals, which of course then causes neighbors to complain that the homeless people are pooping outside, which then leads to worse outcomes for everyone. So I'm not sure how I got to here exactly from where I started in a video about China's parks being genuinely great places, but hey, that's where I ended up. I hope you don't mind. And so that's the end. I think China's parks are great places. Let me know if you've been to a Chinese park, if you agree or if you disagree. Let me know what you think about the parks in your local community. Are they genuinely great places, or do they leave a lot to be desired? I would love to hear where you're from and what you think about public spaces in general in your community, because I love public spaces. The town square, the park, I don't know, anywhere where people can go and gather and just enjoy each other and enjoy spending time outside, because I hate being cooped up in an office, and I hate being stuck at home. Most of my day is usually outside. So anyway, take care, guys. Bye-bye. See you later. And I'll see you next time, if you're kind enough to join me again. Bye.
平衡测试完毕，现在进行动态测试，请挪动双脚，使小底灯快变亮。听到起跳口令后，用力跳起。起跳，动态测试完毕。现在进行反应时测试，请用手或脚触碰亮起的测试灯。听到开始口令后，进行反应时测试。开始。请本次